What drew me to anthropology? So that's actually kind of a bittersweet story. So when I was 17, before I started college, I was couch surfing at my brother's house, and it was a really dark time of my life. My mom had just passed away, and I was trying to find some form of permanency. And my brother, who happens to be a UCLA alum, has a little bookshelf with like a library of books, right? So I was reading all these different self-help books, kind of as like a therapeutic, way of like just kind of handling the situation. And one of the books I happened to stumble upon was called In Search of Respect, and I felt like I needed some respect in my life, and I thought it was a self-help book, but it ended up being an ethnography, so it was an anthropology writing. And it was actually written by my now field advisor, Philippe Bourgois. So it was it's a pretty small world. And after I read that book, I found out about anthropology, and I thought like, I could do this. Yeah, I could see myself doing this. So the next year when I started college, just been anthro straight through. Yeah. My name is Moses Ramirez, and the title of my project is Counter Narratives of Foster Youth and Adulthood, Challenging Deficit Thinking. I worked with foster youth and adulthood in Los Angeles and a little bit in San Jose as well. And the way I categorize adulthood, it was more like young adults, so anywhere between the ages of 18 to 22 were in my research. And the categories for foster youth was anyone who had at one point in their lives had an open case, but now have like emancipated or whatnot into adulthood. I chose this community because I myself am a former foster youth. I felt like it was a counter-ethnography, and I thought that it was necessary because there's a lot of narratives in the foster youth community that generally go unheard. And there's also a lot of unfortunate statistics that revolve around the foster youth community. One of the main ones that my research centers on is that only 3% of foster youth graduate from college, which is also why it was a motivator for me to kind of pursue this population of research. One of the most significant things I experienced was just the bonds and the connections I made with my research participants. It started off very, it was kind of almost hostile in a sense where like the trust wasn't there yet, and they were looking at me more as this researcher from UCLA as opposed to someone who comes from a similar background or who has like similar experiences. So kind of going from like that stranger danger, I don't really know who this person is, to that, oh, that's Moses, was definitely very significant for me. I felt like I did have a lot to contribute in like both paradigms. While I was in the field, and me being a former foster youth myself, now senior graduating, I have like a lot of experience working with the college system. There are some scholarships and there are some financial aid loopholes that will like provide you like free tuition at almost any California institution that a lot of people don't know about, and different internships and professional systems as well. So just being able to kind of like give them an idea of like, hey, like you could also like apply to this. There's that resources here was a strong contribution in my opinion. Yeah, and another contribution too for the research itself is eventually when it's all said and done, this research could be used to in the Capitol. There are different like major programs and institutions that they go out to the Capitol annually to lobby and to kind of like advocate for different resources and different rights. Yeah, talk to the TAs. If you have a TA, talk to your TA, definitely. Also, just remember that you're a cohort, and yeah, kind of act like it. Everyone in the cohort is there to watch each other succeed. Everyone is there to kind of like build upon each other and support each other. And when you're in the field, it's a scary space. I feel like a lot of people, myself included, have had times where like they were discouraged to really pursue their research in the field. Ethnography is hard. You're kind of like, even though I was working with my community, per se. I didn't necessarily like know the individuals that I was working with until, you know, the research was done. So it's really getting out that comfort zone and getting out your shell and really like just talking to people and you know, you just gotta like, you know, have confidence in yourself when it comes to, you know, doing things like that. Yeah.